30 all.
We are back at Aronimink Country Club in beautiful Square. I'm Patty Hogan alongside Dave Zell, who was a great commentator for the first match of Pro Flight today. And we're joined by the one and only Tom King, TK, as everyone knows him here. They know him out of Waynesboro Country Club, a strong D6 level player. And Dave and TK, this is going to be fun. Can you, hey TK, how about you identify the players for us?
Okay, we've got Drew Broderick, and we've got Christian Tomas with Kaler and Thunder Dan, if I'm correct, right?
Thunder Dan Hanson.
All right, so who's who? I need to know by.
So
who's our guy in all black here?
All black is Christian Tomas.
Gotcha.
So
And his partner, the lefty.
Yeah, so Patty, this is Dave. I'll help do the rundown with you. So Tomas in the all black is is one of the pros here at Aronimink Golf Club where we are playing. So he's a big fan favorite locally. His partner, Drew Broderick, who the two of them have partnered up this year and played a number of tournaments together. Obviously, you could probably speak about Drew's
Broderick,
skills all day, but
Christian,
four-time national championship champion, mixed champion, legend of the game. And their opponents are Anton Protsenko, who's in the blue sweatshirt and red pants, and Scott Kaler in the gray sweatshirt, who's about to serve.
Yeah, this is a real treat to watch this match, and this is a treat for the members of Aronimink to be able to host this. Great shout out to JC for running the show here, and of course a ton of help from Tomas on this. And you know, Anton Protsenko, he was in the booth the last round. He can do it all. He's a semifinalist last year at APTA National Championship alongside Max Littlever. They had their breakthrough at Canoebrook, took out a three-time national championship team of Broderick and Palmer. So Anton can do it all.
So Anton was a little reluctant to jump on the mic in that first match, but once he got on the mic, I mean, he had plenty to say. I don't know why he was so reluctant. He was great, had a lot of good commentary and a lot of good critiques of all the players.
Well, he is one of the highly regarded players and teaching pros in the country. And, you know, his style of commentating is similar to his style of play. He's just going to sit back. He's going to wait for the big moment. And, you know, in the big moment, you want someone to deliver, and Protsenko has proved he's really taken that step into the upper echelon in the sport of platform tennis, and just so highly regarded by everybody.
Wow, look at that cut by him.
All.
Fantastic. The backhand cut, which is a very tricky shot.
Tricky if you're a D5, not if you're one of these pros.
That is also true.
That is true.
You know, and they're just going to make each other pay. You know, you can't get away with short lobs at this level. A lot of times club level play are the recipients of those short lobs, and they'll blast a hard, flat, overhead double screen where you could see in that first match, short lobs, the best players in the country are going to add some
15,
kind of,
30.
you know, roller, slice, slash, any kind of spin to impact, you know, the bounce of the ball.
So Tomas
15,
and Drew
40.
obviously have played a lot together now this year. I'm guessing Anton and Scott have not played much. Patty, what are you thinking Drew and Tomas want to do to attack Scott and Anton?
Game,
Well,
Broderick Christian, 2 games love.
Well, you know, when you say the word attack, I don't think Drew's mindset when he goes into a match is what they're going to attack.
15.
I heard you guys made the real good commentating remark in the first match about, you know, Drew goes in, tries to figure out what the guy's
all.
weaknesses are. You look at Kaler, you look at Protsenko. You know, Kaler's not really known as an explosive player. You guys were talking about wondering why he didn't tee off on Hanson's serve in that last match. And I think Scott, you know, as those of us have seen him up close, when that ball bounces up high in his forehand, he loves to hit down on that ball, down on that return. And I think when those serves come in low, the low bouncers, which you see a lot of the top women and men in the game use, they use that so guys like Kaler
15,
can't tee
30.
off on the return of serve. So, you know, I think Drew's style is he'll sit back and sort of everybody's got to feel this out here for the first 4 games, and then I think we'll see something. I mean, TK, what would you do right now if you were Anton Pransenko?
I'd kind of wait and see what kind of shots they produce and kind of look at their strategy. I mean, I've been to so many camps with Drew, I can't even tell you. And the thing he says all the time is keep lobbing, keep playing neutral balls, and then figure out what they like to do and how they react to certain shots, and then build your strategy from there. And he is so patient when it comes to that.
Yeah, and in that last match with the Pro Flight Super Breaker, that thing was close, and I think what happens, Kaler and Broderick got their separation, in the middle of that tiebreaker, and all of a sudden, Tomas and Dan couldn't stay close. And
40,
I think
30.
so much of when you're competing against the top guys, you got to keep it close. And so some of these early games really do make a difference for everyone's confidence.
Absolutely.
And I'm seeing. Oh, go ahead, Patty.
Oh, TK, I was just saying, we talk about your play. You're on D6 over at Waynesboro Country Club.
Yep.
You've probably been on the court with one of my. I mean, there's so many great pros in the Philly area, but there's only one Vlatko.
Oh my goodness, he is so great. we love him to death.
Well, I got to know Vlatko a long time ago. Mark Ray, Annie O'Shea over there. Annie did a great job getting juniors going in the area.
Yeah.
And, when you go around the Philly area, there's nothing like it. And, Philadelphia is really one of my favorite places to watch paddle, hang out at paddle tournaments. It truly is about the Philly love for platform tennis here front and center.
Yeah, no doubt. And we don't forget we got Timmy McAvoy here, and we got up-and-coming Nate Gambino, who is phenomenal.
Lori Hissey,
Yeah.
And Tim McAvoy, former APTA president.
Yep.
I've had the pleasure of being on some committees and continue to work with Tim behind the scenes on some stuff, and no greater ambassador for the sport of platform tennis and for Philadelphia platform tennis.
Such a great, nice guy, too, on top of everything else.
Yeah, he's not bad. And, TK, I love that you've been a big supporter of Pro Flight and this format. This format, the advantage of it is, it's not a barge. It's a fleet of foot operation. And, here we have Graham McNerney can't play today because he wakes up sick. No big deal. You throw it into a round robin, guys mix it up, and, it's just a formula that's light of foot, and that benefits, the sport, and it's just makes it really nice for these guys to play with each other, against each other. What a treat for everyone during the holidays here to be able to tune in to a little bit Pro Flight Live.
Patty, I remember the day that Drew called me, and he was kind of telling me that he wants to do this Pro Flight concept. And he said, I just feel like we can take the top players and, kind of run fast forward at nationals as if you came right in on semis and quarters. And I think we'd have a lot of great turnout
30.
to watch those kind of matches. And I told him what a great idea it was. And it turned into a really, really great format.
So is everybody who plays with Kaler named Thunder?
Yeah, so I was going to comment on that. So I think they have the naming convention wrong. So it's Scott Kaler playing with Protsenko. They have it mislabeled as Thunder Dan, who was playing in the previous match.
Oh no! I see a lot of red over there from Anton Pransenko, and I'm sure everybody's figured out it's not Thunder.
Correct. Anton. He brings a lot of thunder for sure, but he is not. There's only one Thunder Dan Hanson. It's.
Yeah, and I'm not surprised by the start with Tomas, the hometown favorite here.
Sure.
And Drew having an early lead. They obviously are real familiar. They've played about 5 events together so far. And, you can see Christian's maturity as a paddle player, evolution. It's pretty fun to watch him. I remember a couple years ago when he started out, versus right now, and he's got so much more discipline and composure around his game, and that's what he gets. Drew is one of the all-time strategists, greatest players in our sport, and Tomas's learning curve, just the trajectory of his improvement is just so much speedier than most real talented players. So it's a great opportunity. Right there, they didn't like the experienced team. Great little cutter down the middle.
Yeah, I mean, for years, Drew has obviously played with. I mean, obviously he plays with Palmer in the national championships. Played with Bostrom a lot last year. Certainly an amazing opportunity for Tomas to play with Drew this year, and has learned a ton, I'm sure, because Drew's not only one of the greats of the game, but also a great teacher.
And if you watch these guys play, and I've seen Drew play a ton of paddle over the years, and there's all different styles of play. Some people
40,
feel
30.
like, he doesn't capitalize enough, but he's totally understanding of the size of the court. He's good at math. It's about angles, reducing risk, not letting a guy sort of get momentum and take off, get the shots that he wants to hit. So Drew is masterful at taking away weapons. Most players in the game, I heard Dave, you and Anton talking, and JC earlier in the first match about the use of the middle. And, I always say
15 love.
If your PTI is lower than 30, or you're playing with a player who's a national championship caliber player, you can hit your overheads or volleys anywhere you want. But most people don't get away with hitting them back and forth. And I think Anton's point about using the middle is a great tip for club level players, because I'm not one of the tallest players out there, and I had to use reset a little bit more than a lot of people, and as long as I could keep the ball deep, I was okay. I didn't give offensive opportunities up, and that's what these guys do. They try to minimize the amount of offensive opportunities a baseline player gets off of their overheads.
Well, I am one of the tallest players out there, and I agree that utilizing that middle
30,
is a
15.
great weapon that the top players just know how to take advantage of it.
Yeah, and the thing is, when you are taller players out here and you can cover court, you can hit much more. You have many more choices, I would say, on your variety of your overheads because of height,
Sure.
and because of grips as well. And that's something you don't really get to appreciate unless you watch this in person, like the Aronimink members get to, where then you can really see the grip changes and how the grip changes really allow them to have the variety on the shots. It allows them to get incredible screenshots back. It's what makes all these players among the game's best.
Christian, 4 games to 1.
Dave, in our area, I don't think there's many people that have a bigger reach than you do.
That is probably true. I do. I'm well known for my reach on my extended forehand, coming on the high forehand. Definitely a big advantage. And as Patty and I were talking about earlier, there are some other things I need to work on. But yes, my high forehand is a big advantage.
Well, Dave, maybe you can come up to Ticonderoga, New York sometime for one of Drew's paddle camps up there. We work on volleys above all.
I have done a camp with Drew before, and certainly he is an amazing teacher. I can certainly attest to that. And I would welcome any instruction from you, Drew, or any of the top.
There's so many great pros and all these destination camps, and it just shows, thanks to the support of all the live streaming and TK for your support of ProFlight, because so many people are getting this out here, and then they're eager to learn. And I love that. And I love there's camps all over the country. And as the sport of platform tennis is growing, all these
15, 30.
all these other businesses have cropped up, including destination paddle camps, including our ball sponsor,
15,
Xenon, and
40.
Xenon Paddle. Noah Seidenberg's done an amazing job. He's one of these guys who is in the right time, at the right place at the right time in our sport, and super passionate about this, and he's done a great job with his ball company and
30,
paddle company.
40.
So I use the Xenon for my paddle, and I swear by it. I swear that my game improved significantly having moved to the Xenon. So I'm a big fan of Noah and their company.
Wait, do you have the paddle with the heated grip?
Of course not.
Well, I mean, it hasn't been cold enough yet.
I will never switch to that. I will use the regular grip, but I do love their paddles. And that's a great ball, too.
Patty, have you used that heated grip yet?
Oh, I have.
And how does it feel?
It's a treat. I mean, I'm big for the hand warmers. When I go to teach paddle, I look like I'm going skiing. I got the toe warmers, the hand warmers, but when you play with the heated grip, you don't need those hand warmers.
Yeah, that's great. What a great idea.
I think Noah should come up with heated sneakers now in size 4 kids. That would really help me out a lot.
You better take out a patent on that. So not overly surprisingly, but Drew and Tomas being a lot of, some experience playing together, they've kind of jumped out to the lead. For Scott and Anton, Patty, what do you think they need to do differently to maybe change up the strategy here?
Yeah, I don't even think it's changing much up right now. I think it's just getting a little bit more comfortable with each other. Because I just feel like, you look at that last match. What's the difference with, that match? The separation was in the tiebreaker where, they just kind of poured it on at the end. And you could just feel like Dan and Tomas kind of rushed a little bit, where you said, Prosenko doesn't rush anything, whether he's commentating or on the court. He just waits for it, and so does Kaler. And I've seen Kaler. I'm telling you, one of the most amazing matches I watched was Kaler and Compton a couple years ago, Darien Nationals. And those guys looked dead in the water against Hughes and Powers. And I mean, after a set, I did not think there was a way they could be competitive in that match. And, that taught me a lot about, what's in Scott Kaler, and he's a fighter and Prosenko's a fighter. So I just think, only a couple points is separating this, really.
Yep.
Way too early to hit panic mode or change much, in my opinion.
And that's a good point. I mean, you get down early, sometimes you have a tendency to say what's going wrong, and sometimes it's just, locking in and, getting the feel for the match.
Roderick Christian lead 4 games to 2.
Yeah, right there. Good overhead. Kind of held the shot a little bit. I think Drew thought maybe he was going to go up the middle, and kind of wrong step Drew in a way, and got an error out of Drew.
Oh, great hands by Anton.
I don't think I've seen a full red outfit ever on a paddle court, except for Robert Krause's snowsuit at the Short Hills Invitational, which is coming up in February. But I like it.
He's making a fashion statement for sure.
15 all.
I mean, I've seen a red shirt or two in my day, but I don't know that I've ever seen full
30,
red pants on a paddle court before.
That's confidence.
That's confidence. He's feeling the Christmas spirit.
I love the Christmas spirit from Anton Prosenko over there in that ad court. That's Scott Kaler out of Pittsburgh in the deuce court. Yep. Far side, royal blue shirt. The lefty, that's Drew Broderick. And his partner is hometown favorite and pro right here, Tomas Christian. I'm Patty Hogan along with TK, Tom King from Waynesboro Country Club, and our fellow commentator, Dave Bissell today. And Dave's out of Picket Post. How many courts over at Picket Post, Dave?
Well, we have 3. It's been a big issue. We are actually installing our 4th court. Picket Post has been a growing club. We're one of the top teams in the league this year. It's a big program. We have a lot of people who love the sport, and we're about to add a 4th court, which is going to be a game changer for our club.
Yeah, I know a couple of your members, and I've heard all the excitement around adding that 4th court, which is a game changer. And I mean, do you guys have any idea how many courts are in Philly? How many platform tennis are in the Philadelphia area?
That's a great question. Huh.
I didn't mean to stump you guys.
Yeah, you've stumped us. I don't know. I mean, Philly loves paddle.
Research.
Yeah, exactly. Philly loves paddle, though.
Yeah, but Picket Post is great. It's another one of these clubs that maybe a lot of people haven't heard of around the country. Great little club, passionate membership, really fun.
That's
5
correct.
games to 2.
Let's hope nobody needs the services of one of our sponsors, Bozenka, today. I know that guy. Great support here for Pro Flight Paddle in the Philadelphia area.
Definitely.
So TK is a sponsor of Pro Flight. How did you get involved?
You know, it was actually from the camps at first. I've gone to a lot of Drew's camps, both in Park City and Telluride, and when he came to me with the concept, you know, he said, you know, this is going to be a great opportunity to get to a good target market of yours in terms of viewers, and I think a lot of people are going to watch, and that's how we started. And I also helped Drew on on his website marketing, and we actually stream most pro flights directly from his site, you know, and it's been really, really good. I find that there's a lot of great people watching, and you know, the viewership is very, very supportive of everybody.
And we're about what, 3 years old with this this Pro Flight now?
Yeah.
So
Right
kind of,
there.
you know, still a little bit in the infancy, but just a ton of interest getting these top guys out, and like you said, fast forwarding to the semis or the quarters of a national tournament. People love it a lot. You know, builds a lot of interest locally and nationwide.
Yeah, especially for the hosting clubs. You know, a lot of members get to really watch the high quality paddle up close, and I think it's very inspiring for them, and they're really excited about it, being a part of that.
I think one of the things when you get to watch it in person, you know, courtside or in the back there, you can see some of the people who are not inside staying warm on this 35 or 38 degree day in the Philadelphia area. You know, it's just when you can see their facial expressions, and you get so much of a feel for the emotional intensity that they put into this. And I think that helps club level players, because you know, the way they watch the ball in, hit their paddle, every stroke is important. And no one's giving away a point, as you can see. No one misses return of serves out here. No, you know, there's very little faulting. And, you know, the points go on for 30 or 40 shots all the time. That's because the guys are so good at the net, and it's really a waiting game here. You're going to see Christian and Broderick just kind of, you know, they've got a nice lead, 5-2. They're feeling comfortable. They don't have to rush anything. They just take their time one at a time.
First set, Broderick Christian, 6 games to 2.
There we go, first set.
By the way, that was an amazing 360 degree off the tip of the paddle shot that he made.
We're going to be right back after this commercial, guys.
Success takes hard work. Making success a legacy takes discipline. PPAC Private. Your legacy, our discipline.
At Veritext, it's not just a deposition. It's the witness that will win your trial. It's the reason you became a lawyer. It's your first case as a partner. It's that case that will make you partner. It's for the families who lost something. It's for that groundbreaking patent. It's for one of the largest companies in the world, or one of the smallest. It's something that will change someone's life forever. At Veritext, it's never just a deposition. We understand it's so much more.
Hey, welcome back to Aronimink Golf Club. I'm Patty Hogan along with Dave Bissell and TK, and we are in the second set of our second match here on Pro Flight Paddle from Aronimink Golf Course in Newtown Square, Pennsylvania. Dave, want to tell us a little bit about the first set? Maybe even less, Dave. No, I'm only kidding. I think we're back here. The players are coming back on the court. First set to Broderick and Christian, 6-2. Second set about to start here. This is Drew Broderick serving. TK, are you still there right now? So this is our second of 3 matches scheduled here today on Pro Fight Live. We lost one of our pros this morning, Grant McNerney, who woke up sick. He was supposed to have come and played today with Scott Kaler. So the ever flexible, formatted, friendly options that Pro Flight Paddle has allows the show to go on in any kind of format everybody thinks is the best, and so they kind of pulled some names out of the hat, had the players team up with each other, and it's just so fun to watch these guys live right before Christmas.
And Patty, we are extremely fortunate to have Thunder Dan Hanson join the broadcast. He's sitting right next to both of us here. He played in the first match, obviously, and we'll have some good feedback on the first match, and also I'm interested to hear his commentary on this match as well.
Hey, Dan Hanson, welcome.
Thanks.
Hey, Dan Hanson, I just have a question I've always wanted to ask you.
Yep.
Playing so many tournaments with Mikey Cochran, what's that like?
It's really great, actually. He's a really good player. He knows the game really well. And he's kind of like, molded my game a little bit also, gave me some good tips all the tournaments playing with him. He's got a really good, we'll call it a forehand drive, but the right side of his body, he's got a really good drive off that side, and it makes it easy to take the net, and I like hitting overheads, and so it's really good.
What court do you play when you play with Mikey C?
I play the deuce side.
Oh, okay.
So Patty, Dan, while obviously having a big national reputation and big lefty spin, he's very well known in the Philadelphia area because he often partners with Joe Coble, who is a local Philly player. They played college tennis together, if I'm correct.
Yep.
So they play a lot of local Philly tournaments, PA States. I think you guys played Delaware together?
We did.
Played Delaware together. So Dan is very well known. Even though he's not a Philly guy, he's very well known in the Philly area.
Oh, Dan's well known around the country, not just Philly.
Nice.
Dan, I enjoyed watching that match. You got to play a Pro Flight Breaker. Tell me how were your nerves during that Pro Flight Breaker?
I felt pretty good during the Pro Flight Breaker. I think we both kind of sped it up a little bit too much. We played smarter in the second set, and then it kind of got away from us. But they're a tough team to play. They don't give you any looks that are easy,
No, well, you guys, that was an entertaining match to watch. I enjoyed it. Thank you.
Good.
And Dan, will you get back out there for the third match later?
Yep, I'll be on the third match. I'm not sure of the matchups yet, but I'll be playing in the third one.
Right, and Dan, how great is that? You come here, you come out, and you just know you're going to play. It's 4 to 6 sets of great paddle against some of these guys, and how fun! What a great opportunity.
Exactly, it's always fun to play against good players. So.
And Dan, here you are. You're sitting here commentating. You're going to jump on the court again, live stream in front of a lot of people. how fun is it that, like, you don't even know who you're playing with, where so many club level players worry about it all the time, where the court's the same size, the game doesn't change.
Yeah.
You know, I think people could take a lot, club level players could take a lot of a nice takeaway from that, you know, you still play your own game and you play to your own strengths.
Yep.
So Scott Kaler's about to serve. Kaler and Prosenko are up 1-0. Second set. If they split, we'll get a pro flight breaker, like we saw in the first match. First to 15. Sudden death at 14 all. Hey, Dan, what do you admire most about Scott Kaler's game?
He's a really good player. He's really steady, and he's got great hands and really smart from everywhere on the court, really. He's got a good waterfall overhead, good hands. You know, you have to play well against him to beat him. It's tough.
It seemed like in that last match, your strategy was to let you take more of the overheads and to go into his body and his backhand. Was that your strategy?
Yeah, pretty much. You know, he's patient with his drives, so
30 love.
We didn't think we'd be hurt too much by Kaler's drives, so that was kind of the safer spot on the court. And then just kind of hoping for a short lob if it came to hit a spin overhead. Yeah.
Yeah, certainly a lot of fun to watch you carve up the ball with the overheads and the wires, and then when you get that short ball, hitting that cutter is just a lot of fun to watch.
Thanks.
You have a good feel for the ball that's just really exciting to watch.
Yeah.
Joe Coble says he taught you everything you know.
He's a good player. He's coming up. Yeah.
He plays a lot at my club. He practices with us on a weekly basis.
Good.
And Dan, as you know, and Dan, Pro Flight, we had a couple events starting out over at Manufacturers, and then we followed JC over here to Aronimink. Had a great run over at Manufacturers there, and Scott Falatek's there doing a great job following JC.
Sure. I mean, JC is a great ambassador of the game. He loves the game. And as you mentioned, Scott, I mean, you were talking about Vlatko earlier. Vlatko, Najdek, and Scott, they have been, you know, national powerhouses for a number of years, certainly on the national scene, and certainly local Philadelphia legends for a long time, Scott Falatek and Vlatko.
Didn't they just recently win a national title together?
I think they won the 45s.
I believe so.
At Delaware, yes. And they had, I think, a run to the finals of the regular Delaware tournament as well, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, Scott and Vlatko have, you know, always been about a top 16 team, top
Right.
12 sometimes, you know, right
Yep.
around there, and a tremendous asset to the Philadelphia area for, you know, not only their teaching abilities, but just such nice guys, so passionate about paddle and teaching and sharing everything great about paddle.
Playing great defense from the back, Drew and Tomas right now.
40,
As soon as
15.
you say that, Drew makes the error to the net, but that's a rare error of that kind.
It is.
Commentator Jinx.
That's right.
Dan, I'm sure you've played against Prosenko a couple times.
Yep.
Last couple years, what do you see about the difference in his game? What's really helped him elevate his game?
I think he's gotten more selective and more patient in the balls he's hitting, and he's got a lot of strategy. You know, he kind of figures out the opponents, and obviously he has a lot of offense that he can pull out whenever he wants, but he's definitely more selective hitting the right balls, I think.
Yeah, it seems like, Dan, that every match, even including that pro set breaker, comes down to when you pull the trigger and when you go for it and how big you go for it, and it's all based on the points, and where you are that moment in the match. And I think you're right about how selective Prosenko has become, and he recognizes the moments. And I think that recognition,
40,
discipline, really makes him a real special player in our sport.
Yeah.
Nice lob there by Drew, forcing Scott to go for too much in the wire and getting an error.
Deuce.
That's one of the few shots I have the same shot as Kaylor.
I think we all have that shot. And they got Scott to make 3 straight errors here.
Yeah, that was a little loose from Kaylor. He likes to hit that down up overhead and just a falling back on the right side of the court there. Maybe not the ideal time to try.
Yeah, I was standing next to Scott earlier. He's almost as tall as I am, so he's a pretty imposing figure on the court.
Yeah, and he plays with a pom-pom hat. I mean, it even gets bigger.
That's exactly. He's just going for the extra intimidation with that hat.
Love 30.
And all of a sudden, faults have broken out here in Aronimink.
Oh, love 40.
It's the power of suggestion. Kaylor dumped one, now Tomas is following him.
15, 40.
Yep, kind of a strange little period right here. A couple of
Yeah, we had a period like that in the first set of the first match, similarly, and then everyone settled in. But yeah, too many just quick points, obviously, faults and missed return of serves.
Love that backhand, the two-handed backhand swing from Prosenko. It shows how strong he is and under control, moving to his left, not even into the court, and he just could pounce on that ball.
Exactly. He generates a lot of power with very little leverage. It's very impressive.
And I like that Kaylor pulled out his two-handed backhand. We didn't see that. I didn't see much of that in the first match when I was watching. And I think that's what Kaylor needs to show. He needs to show a threat of a stroke up the middle there. That'll help Prosenko get some better looks.
Yeah, he was block-logging pretty much everything with his backhand in that first match.
Look at the hands of Prosenko right there to short hop that ball.
Incredible.
Anton's got really good hands. He can blitz, and he'll come away with the win on the blitz a lot.
30, 40.
So I think Tomas had 3 faults in this game, and now it's game point. Is that right? Or game point the other way. Got it. But still, they battle back 2. Can they get this third to get it back to deuce?
And Dan, in your match, the first match, did Kaylor rip any two-handed backhands against you guys?
Not that I can think of. Maybe one, if that. But yeah, he was lobbing a lot of those of his backhands, and that was kind of why we kept going there.
Yeah, because it kind of lets you guys just do your thing, and you've got all that lefty crafty spins, and him not swinging at it kind of just gives you a little bit more confidence to keep doing your thing.
Exactly.
Yeah, in that first match, go ahead, Patty.
Oh, I was just going to say, but again, Kaylor's strength is just waiting it out. Very similar to the mentality of Broderick. There he got a tiny bit of opening. What a great shot, going right up the line. Caught Tomas a forced volley error. Sorry, go ahead, Dave.
I was just going to say, in that first match, to me, it seemed like Dan really, the more the match wore on, his overheads and his feel of the net really started to take hold, and that's why they were able to, have that great second set and really just turn the match around. as Dan kept hitting, you could just see he kept getting more comfortable and finding the spots to go to attack and also not give his opponents anything to attack.
Game, Roderick Christian, 2-1.
It's a good game for them to come away with after starting out with 3 faults.
Yeah, really good volley there on game point. Just caught Kaler right at his feet. And again, thanks to our great sponsors who are supportive of Pro Flight Paddle from day one. Dan, what's your tournament schedule looking like in the new year?
Opening up with PA States with Joe Coble on the 8th of January, I think. And then I'll play Boston and Short Hills with Mike. And I think I'll go to Denver as well at the end of February to play the NRT out there. So unfortunately, I've missed the Philly Open because it's the same weekend. But
oh no!
Yeah.
Is that event out in Arapahoe?
I think so. I'm not sure which part of Denver actually, but
okay.
Yeah, last year I played with Jerry Albrights in it, and we had a battle in the finals that we lost in 3 sets. So we're hoping to come away with a win there this year. It's a fun tournament there too.
Well, good luck.
Thank you.
Jerry Albrights, former national champ.
Yeah.
With Johan Durant right here in Philadelphia, right down the street at Waynesboro Country Club. Dave, what was the year?
2010.
Nice.
Sorry.
No, I appreciate Dan bailing me out because I was not playing paddle in 2010. So
Love 15.
Yeah, you see, Krasenko just dumped that ball into the box.
yeah,
He
we
knew
were.
he wasn't going to get pressure on the return to serve from Broderick. Just dumped it in there, let the ball go through, take the net.
Yeah, we
Lot
talked
of
about that.
transition that they're happy about.
We talked about that, Patty, last match. I asked Anton, kind of, he's kind of switched to the kind of dink serve, and he also stayed back a lot in Detroit last weekend, and kind of what his thought process was with that.
Yeah, all these guys, they can hit
Love
it, but,
30.
you see Johan Durant, arguably the greatest player in the game, and you see him, he went to the sidearm, the first guy out of the box doing it all the time, I would say. Stephen Mitchell, obviously, and Krasenko, and, these guys have figured out that you got to keep that ball bouncing a lower bounce because these guys just have so much power off
15,
that
30.
high bouncing ball. And, playing in the warmer temperatures, the ball sits up a little bit more, easy to tee off on. So they've got to go to something else, and the sidearm serve, or even like just laying off it totally. Dan, I saw you hit a couple of those this morning, or in the earlier match, I would say.
30 all.
Yeah.
You dumped some to Kaler low, and I thought you just did it to avoid him hitting down on your ball on the return.
Yeah, pretty much.
You can't, Dan, when you were hitting kind of like a push serve, you were coming in behind it. What's interesting is Anton will hit the push serve and not come in behind it.
40, 30.
Yeah. It's just kind of if I feel comfortable that I'm going to make the first volley, I'll come in. Drew has a great return, so I get why he's staying back on it because you don't want to make
Game.
a volley
Taylor
error
Botsenko.
right away,
2 games all.
Yep, you just heard it from the umpire. 2-all, second set. Pro Flight Paddle, Aronimink Golf Club here in beautiful Newton Square, Pennsylvania. I'm Patty Hogan along with Dave Bissell and Dan Hanson. Dan, what's your career win so far?
Probably last weekend against Kaler and Monik Shawinski.
I heard about that. That's a great win.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Remind me, who'd you play with last weekend?
Will Lofgren. So we hadn't played together,
That's
actually. Right. I was going to play with
Log
Mike,
15.
but he wasn't able to. He had another partner and another opportunity.
He was in Maine.
He's in Maine this weekend.
That's right.
15 all.
But yeah, last weekend Will was a really good player, and it was fun playing with him. We'll probably play another one eventually, but it was a lot
That
of
was a great win. Who else did you guys take out in that tournament?
In our first match, we had some Pittsburgh guys, one kind of up-and-comer, John Kilmer, and John Ma, who kind of plays with a lot of Pittsburgh guys as they're coming up. So, and then we ran into Johan and Steven in the quarterfinals.
That's a tough matchup.
Yeah.
They're okay.
Yeah.
And how fun was it playing against those guys?
It's really fun playing with them, and it kind of shows you, I mean, it's really tough to drive against them because they'll really punish you with the volley. So you got to be really patient and get some high lobs. And I know in my match earlier today, I probably lobbed a little bit too short at times. So it's something I have to work on, and it makes it even more evident when you play guys like Johan and Steven.
Well, Dan, I think, and Dave, as you know, players get better by jumping into tournaments. You've got to play under, a little bit of pressure of competition, and you've got to see
40,
better
15.
players in order to improve your own skills. It's rare that you can improve in this game without being on court with these guys. And then, you get out there, you feel their tempo, you see their shot selection, you see their choices, and, thanks to ProFlight and ENET and the APTA, everyone gets to see a full display every weekend almost. So much of the talent out there and so much of the shot selection, and it's so fun. The club level player, I'll even see kids that show up for junior clinics and they've seen a shot that someone hit on the weekend, and they'll bring it out, try to add it to their arsenal.
Yeah.
Game, Roderick Christian.
It's good.
3 games to 2.
I think that we see that a lot with Tomas, who, again, getting to play with Drew this year, he's elevated his game, getting that opportunity to see matches against the top guys, seeing what Drew does. I feel like he has really taken a step forward from getting that opportunity.
So we're 3-2, second set, ProFlight. This is the second match of 3. This is a round-robin format. Didn't start out the day that way, but Grant McNerney woke up feeling ill, couldn't play, so these guys have come up with a round-robin format, rotating partners, and this match you're listening to one of our players today, Dan Hanson. He's a commentator. He played the first match, and he'll be back out in the third match with one of these 4 guys for sure as his partner.
So, Dan, having just played, obviously, my understanding is the winner of each match gets $1,500, which I'm sure influences, you want to win for the money, but I'm guessing the money is a secondary concern, that you just, against all these guys, you just want to make your mark and kind of take out, like, Drew Broderick. That's kind of the bigger influence in your playing.
Yeah, you'd be right. It'd be great to win some money, but also, it's just fun to be out here. But yeah, the money definitely helps too.
And as there's money in the game now, thanks to a ton of sponsorship in events like this and on the APTA Tour, 20 events there, a lot of local support has raised, and lots of sponsor money has enabled these players who, for the most part, are teaching pros who give up a weekend of teaching, fly or drive, take time away from their jobs. So it's kind of great. They get some money in their pocket for their efforts, and they get to showcase, their skills for the locals here and for everybody watching on the live stream. And at the end of the year, all it comes down to who wins nationals. The money's great, but Dan, it's just the opportunity to keep improving your game week after week.
15
exactly.
love.
Yep.
And Dave, you're a fan, Dan, you're a fan, but I don't know if you guys know, besides TK, our amazing sponsor of ProFlight, the other number one fan of ProFlight Paddle, none other than Ron Cummins. He's out of Connecticut now. He helped run the New Jersey Men's League, made it one of the largest in the country. Shout out to Ron Cummins. You guys don't have much to say about Ron, eh? It's okay, I'll take it.
I don't know him, but anybody who's a fan of paddle,
Taylor,
which I am,
Kotsenko,
as discussed earlier, I'm a
games,
monster
all.
fan of this game. Anybody who promotes this game, supports this game, I love, because I think this is such an amazing sport.
15
Oh yeah,
love.
you would love Ron. He did a great job in Jersey for so many years. Moved out west and is back in Connecticut, a little closer to kids. And he's tuning in, watching the action. 3-all in the second set. That's Drew Broderick. In case you don't know yet, the lefty on the far side. His partner's Tomas Christian.
Wow, great shot by Anton.
In red and black, the one and only Anton Prunseco over on that ad court side. And his partner is Pittsburgh's very own Scott Kaler.
I feel like it's. I feel like Anton should have worn the red shorts too. If he's going to go red pants, red shirt, why is he wearing black shorts? Bad call on
Kind
his
of
part.
Tiger Woodish on, Tiger Woods on Sunday action.
Good call.
Tiger's out there with Sam today, his son playing in that event. It's kind of exciting. Good comeback for Woods after that brutal car accident.
Don't let anybody tell you that Patty Hogan is not a sports person that understands every sport.
I'm a fan of a lot of
15
sports.
all.
Great cutter by Protsenko.
Anton's
right there.
really good at that, and when he pulls it out, it usually ends the point.
Dan, do you have that cutter drop?
I try to sometimes, yeah.
Dan definitely has that cutter drop.
And it's about, Dan, how do you hit it? Like, how do you execute that shot? You got to really wait for the right ball to be coming your way, for sure, right?
Exactly, yeah. You know, the shorter lob, and if you want to, Anton
Wow,
does it again.
again.
Just like that, a
15,
shorter
30.
lob. But actually, Jerry Albrights and I have done a video of the slow-mo of the cutter drop shot. You probably find that on YouTube somewhere, I'm not sure.
Oh, yeah.
So Dan, you hit that shot so well. Are you going out there on the court with somebody feeding you balls and you practicing it? How do you develop
I've done
that talent?
Before. I've done that. Yep. One of my first partner, Nick Rejo, and I, we were figure out the game together,
15,
and
40.
that was a shot we both wanted to hit, and we would feed baskets to each other actually.
And Dan, I love hearing you say that, because every shot these guys make, they've practiced
Taylor,
it
Protsenko.
5 million times.
4 games to 3.
And, you see, like Juan Araya was the first guy who hit the cutter drop shot. I mean, he was one of those guys, and all these guys practice those shots all the time.
Yeah, I mean, those of us that are club players, we go out and we play practice matches. Very few of us go out and actually practice the shots. And a lot of those top guys, they're working on certain shots. They're going out there and drilling, and it's a big way to improve your game for sure.
I teach some junior clinics in Jersey over at Canoe Brook, where Drew is the director, and I'll look over on Drew's court. He'll have some of the better kids out there, and when the time is right, he'll go out there and hit that drop cutter, and then it's so fun, because then those 4 kids on that court at that time all of a sudden will start trying to hit the shot as well. But I think the point is, Dan, you bring it out, and you have to develop the confidence in a club
15.
level situation before you have the nerve to pull it out on live streaming.
Exactly. Yep.
Dan, Jerry Albrights is teaching up in Connecticut. Is that true?
Yep. Yeah. So he's the head pro at the Stonington Como,
15
it's
all.
the community center up there. There's 4 courts there, and I help him out and teach some clinics there sometimes as well.
So you've probably run into the Griggs.
Yep. I know Steve Griggs, of course.
Steve and Trish did a
Yep,
great
Steve
job
and
when those courts opened in Stonington.
Yeah.
They were really, really good forces and passionate about the game, and did a lot of the teaching early on to get that program going.
Yeah, Steve is one of the best, I think, over 75 players in the country. He's won multiple national championships in that age group.
Dan, psychologically, when you're down the first set and you know that if you split, you get into a pro flight tiebreaker, does that impact your
30-15
approach to it at all?
Definitely. It feels like, okay, well, if you get just one set, anything can happen in a pro flight tiebreaker. So, it kind of gives way to, more competition. You're not going to think, oh gosh, I don't know what to do now.
And anything can happen. I mean,
exactly.
It really
Unfortunately, it
brings
didn't
both
go our
teams
way,
into
but
it, and it like the momentum from the second set doesn't necessarily carry over into the
That's
first
true
breaker.
also, exactly. Yep.
Yeah, we saw some pretty dramatic momentum changes in that first match where they were in complete control in that first set. You guys, late in the first set, started to get a little bit going. You won a game. I think you pushed them to a few deuces, and they pulled it out. But then the second set, you guys were in complete control. And then, again, they kind of went back in control in that third set. But that's paddle. It's maintaining that momentum, which can change very easily from set to set.
Yeah, momentum can change
30
quickly.
all.
And you're exactly right. We started off, made a lot of errors early, like easy errors that I knew we could clean up. And towards the end of the first set, we got more comfortable out there and just kind of slowed it down. And at the end of the day, paddle's all about errors. We hit these flashy shots with lots of spin, but we usually hit it when we know we're going to make it. And if you try to force it too much, then you're not going to win, especially against better players.
So we've got a pretty important point right here at 4-3 in the second set. Drew's going to try to grind this out and just not make a mistake.
He always plays the big points very well.
Too hard.
Great footwork from Krishna to follow that ball all the way up that side screen. And I just heard Drew yell help on the overhead. Yeah, I think in that, what I noticed about that pro flight tiebreaker in your match is how chatty you could hear Drew on the live stream. Talking every point, taking nothing for granted. Great thing for club level players to hear.
Yeah, communication is very important. It's
30, 40.
It's the worst if it's an easy ball and just no one takes or both people go for it and end up losing the point. It happens more at the club level, but it's because of communication that doesn't happen as much here.
I always felt that, the more pressure, the more you could communicate, it kind of helped
Roderick Christian,
keep your tempo calm.
4 games all.
Tomas with the pressure blitz there forced his opponent into a mistake. Back to 4-4. Here we go. Great hands, Drew.
Drew's got some of the best hands in the country.
Dan, I thought you guys forced him into some volley errors in that first match earlier.
Thanks. We probably got away with a few.
No, I thought you guys applied really good pressure, and those guys had a little uncertainty on some shots, and then I kind of felt like Drew was a little uncomfortable and, was swinging more on his volleys than I'm used to seeing.
Okay, yeah.
But you made him miss.
Appreciate that.
Wow.
That's a good
unbelievable half volley lob into the corner. Standard shot.
And Drew's just going to put the overhead in a safe spot and wait for a good opportunity.
Yeah, he's going to do a little
I love that Kaler pulled the trigger there on that two-handed backhand. We were talking about that a little earlier. I love a little pressure from him from that spot.
If they're going to go with a similar strategy that Dan had against these against Kaler, which is
15
pushing
love.
it into his body on the backhand side, into his hip, and forcing him to hit that awkward cut lefty overhead from the baseline, which not giving him much to attack.
That's a really good cutter. by
30
Drew.
love.
Great cutter.
That was evil, and you could see Prosenko just let it go by. Because he's Prosenko, and he knew that ball was going to Kaler.
It had a little more spin than I expected, and that's why it was so tough. Anton's really good at that backhand. It's not really a safe spot on the court.
Oh, wow. Teed off down the line. Great drive.
$30-15.
Great playing by Anton.
He's so strong with those cutters.
35. Yeah.
This streaming here, Pro Flight Today, is a highlight for Aronimink Golf Club, but they're looking forward to hosting the 2026 PGA Championship. Beautiful golf course there, and they'll be part of the 2024 Nationals hosted in the Philly area again. This is a great facility, great setup, and JC and Tomas, congrats. They're doing a great job down here.
They run a great club down here. PA States is often, this is a main site of PA States. JC and Tomas do an incredible job for sure.
Dave, are there indoor tennis courts there at that facility?
There are indoor tennis courts.
I drove in so fast, I thought I saw a bubble.
Yes, they have a huge bubble out here. There have been a few times when we've been playing paddle and you hear the noise coming from the indoor courts because it's very loud in there. But yes, this is, they love their racket sports here for sure.
Yeah, it's a beautiful layout.
I think Gary Player, I want to say, won the 1962 PGA Championship here. So the golf course is obviously nationally recognized, amazing club, and like I said, the rackets program is also great here.
And that's thanks to, was Andy Sorrentino the former pro?
Yes, Andy was here for a while.
He had a great run,
Yep.
20-year run or so down there.
Yep.
At Aronimink, and he, met Andy a long time ago. What a great personality. I think he's enjoying some golf these days.
I think he's living in Florida and loving life right now.
No, he did a great job to build this program, and it's in good hands with JC and Tomas. Dan, if I'm Broderick and Christian, who am I going to lob to? Kaler or Prosenko?
I would probably say Kaler, but you definitely want to get a deep lob. Kaler has a really good waterfall overhead, just like that one you just hit, which set up a nice short overhead for Anton. Really, it doesn't matter too much as long as you get it deep. If you give a short lob to Anton, he's going to hit a cut drop shot or put you in a difficult position in the back.
He's controlling the play from the net.
Definitely.
He's got himself, he's the player to the left in the long sleeve shirt. And you can see for the most part, Kaler staying out of the way, just letting Anton do his thing with a variety of spins on his overheads.
I think that's really the way they should go also, because Kaler has such good hands at the net. And, he can also hit a really good waterfall overhead if it's a short lob, too. So.
Yeah, Kaler kind of closes as well as anybody at that net when he's the player to the right with that backhand volley. Really one of the game's best.
30-40.
Great ball by Anton there, hitting a hard cutter at Tomas that he had to react quickly to.
Yeah, I just feel like Anton's hitting too many easy overheads here. Or short lobs.
Yeah.
There's the backhand drive from Kaler that we've all been looking for.
Oh, great hands from Christian, anticipating the drop shot. Then he put the full brakes on fast and adjusted. Put that ball up. Point continues.
That's one of the toughest things to do when you know Anton can hit a short cutter or a deep cutter. You kind of have to guess on one, and Tomas guessed wrong, but he was still able to come away with and stay in the point. So that was good.
Yeah, Dan, that's a good point. And I think with these players, you see that early paddle preparation, and they suck you into thinking it's going to be one shot, and then they're so good that then they can change it to the other shot. You just don't see that on the club level.
Yeah.
Shout out to Evan, who is masterful in his production for Pro Flight Paddle.
Deuce.
He's doing a great job running the operation here for sure.
You know, you get a lot of confidence when you just look over and you see Evan over there.
I know I'm in good hands. Great return.
It's a really good return.
Advantage, Kaler, Kotsenko. Deuce.
Really good serve, and a shout out to part of Drew's production team today. Includes none other than his nephew Edmund and his niece Marissa. Marissa has been with Pro Flight from the beginning. She has done it all.
I did not realize that was his niece and nephew.
Dave Broderick, who's Broad Fiddlers. Those are his wonderful son and daughter. Yeah, I think everybody's getting a full appreciation of the talent from Prosenko over there in the ad court. I love his variety. You can see that he's really working the points, moving around his shots, really being thoughtful and real selective, Dan, as you said early on, about what has helped him elevate his game.
Yeah. That's a good reset overhead by Tomas. You can tell Anton was looking for the backhand there, and you got to just dump it to Kaler's backhand instead.
Exactly. Tough lob.
Yeah, and that's the point we talked about a little bit earlier. He can change his mind. Like, he was all ready to take it over there, but Prosenko was even more ready for him to take it, and so he just dumped it straight ahead. And Danny dumped it straight ahead because he knew Kaler would probably just continue throwing up lobs from the middle.
Exactly, yep.
Game.
Force the
Roderick Christian, 5-4.
Wow, you know, Kaler got the... well, thanks again, of course, to our sponsors, PPAC Private, right from the beginning, and Veritext for Pro Flight Paddle. Patty Hogan along with Dan Hanson and Dave Bissell here, Pro Flight from Aronimink Golf Course, Newton Square, Pennsylvania. This is our second match, his second set, 5-4. Kaler got the look he wanted on that ball and missed it by as little as you can miss it by.
Let's see if Drew and Tomas can grind them down for this last game here.
Here we're back to the setup where we've seen a lot of this. Great angle from here. You can see Prosenko in the long sleeve red shirt has himself positioned to the left so that he can handle a majority of the overheads. With two righties, the player to the left will handle a majority of the overheads.
Great move by Drew. blitz by Antone. Oh, Kaylor misses the volley.
Love 15.
Great communication right there from Broderick to Christian saying he's coming in, and Tomas had the, really, he was just so mellow there and just threw up a lob volley, and just a rare miss from Kaylor on a shot like
Love
that.
30.
Still thinking about it, misses the serve, and now it's 0-30.
Yeah, 2 points from the match. Yeah, Kaylor's overhead was headed right to the nick of Christian. That's why he elevated and reached up and took a swing at that ball. Didn't want to get caught with that ball possibly hitting the nick and flying out. Shout out to Mick Erdoya. We were talking about Ron Cummins and the Men's League Classic. Mick Erdoya and Evan Zimmer, former junior player, won one of the biggest tournaments of the year last Monday night out of Montclair Golf Club.
Such an amazing thing they do in New Jersey with that tournament.
Oh, it's so fun. I didn't get to see it this year, but one of my favorite events to participate in, and not even participate, I just mean be a spectator and participate, because
those of us in the Philly,
show.
those of us in the Philly scene were talking about it when we heard the rules, and we were thinking that just sounds awesome. So lucky that they have that in New Jersey. It sounds like a great tournament.
Yeah, Short Hills Club played host to Saturday's lunch. They had a great event, and then they go over to Montclair Golf Club. A ton of people under the lights. A lot of fun. See right here, this is where Tomas has to be careful. He shouldn't get sucked into the Kaylor's overhead there. Dan, do you agree?
I agree with that.
Baited him right there.
Yeah. It can be enticing to go for it, but when blitz on that overhead, sometimes it usually works out less than it works, in my opinion.
And that's just saying, Tomas and Drew are up. They won the first set. They're up 5-4 second set. That's where Tomas just has to be real disciplined here. He doesn't need to supply much offense at this point. It's not what their team needs to pull this match out.
Exactly.
I think that's the thing we talked about earlier with Persenko. He's got so many offensive, explosive weapons, but he only pulls them out when it's really the right time and it's needed. He doesn't need to showcase all his skills at the same time.
Yep. I would agree with that.
I mean, not everybody can play like Mikey Cochran and just be the human highlight reel on every shot.
Exactly. He never saw a ball he couldn't drive.
This is a big point, and both teams are treating it that way. I mean, they're being patient and, trying to grind their opponent down. And they get the error.
30 all.
The big point right here now.
Yes.
Tomas plays it safe and lobs the return.
Yeah, I almost wish he had taken a swing at that ball. It was right up in his wheelhouse, actually, off the screen. Like that.
Yep.
Yeah, there's Kaylor closing in with that backhand volley.
Great close volley, yep.
Yeah. You're not allowing Drew's ball to dip any lower below the level of the net. Great shot up the line from Broderick right there.
Kaylor stays up there and still retains the net.
There's a little bit of some spin from Kaylor on the overhead here.
Wow.
That's a good drop shot.
Amazing.
40,
Read it,
30.
cut it off, went with the angle. Great shot by Kaylor.
Nervy. that was great. And he closed in, and I love that he was looking to do that right there. Huge point.
Yep. Read it perfectly. What a shot by Drew. Oh, Kaler with a great shot right back in transition.
Game, Kaler, Protsenko, 5 games all.
Yeah, a little disappointing game for Tomas and Drew there, and I think each of them got a couple looks that they loved offensively and just didn't execute. And Kaler closing in on some volleys there, and that drop winner was pretty incredible. And here we go, 5-all, second set, pro flight paddle from Aronimink golf course.
Yeah, Kaler made 2 great plays to close out that game. Wow, what a cut error by Drew.
15 love.
That was payback for that drop shot.
Yes, sir.
What a move from Protsenko.
Oh my God. Wow.
Great job by Tomas and Drew to stay in that point and also somehow come up with the net.
Yep.
Interesting to see if Kaler Protsenko look for a switch from the baseline. Apparently
15
not.
all.
Great two-handed backhand from Kaler.
Yeah, he ripped it.
That was one of
Forced
the
the
bigger
volley out.
backhands I've seen from Kaler. And Drew has such good hands that he normally stays in at the net for that. But I think that was so big that he probably should have let that one through.
Great lob.
Yeah. 15, 30.
Yeah, good hands from Protsenko to pull that shot off over his right hip. The first ball that Drew spotted and just overjuiced that drive.
Couple great volleys by Tomas, getting them into the point, and now Drew's going to try to go to work here. There he goes.
Good
30
overhead
all.
by Drew.
5-all, 30-all. Tomas Christian serving. Kaler to crush the return, I hope.
40, 30.
That
Wow.
serve maybe hit
good
the net or
serve.
something.
Great
What a
serve into the
serve
body.
right there. Yeah. That was a clutch serve from Tomas right there.
Missed it.
Game, Broderick Christian, 6 games to 5.
So another chance for Tomas and Drew to close this out in the second set.
I'm a little surprised Kaler pulled the trigger on that two-handed backhand, missed wide, which you just don't really see that much. Yeah, you know, if you take that drive and you're going to unload, you got to go somewhere near a player to let them get their hands on the volley at least.
Yeah, I think he.
Just game point, I just think you can make a better choice. That's all.
Oh,
and
for
usually
sure.
he does.
Yeah, and I think that was him feeling the lack of balls to attack. He got a little impatient. I mean, I think Drew and Tomas forced him into that by not giving him much before that, and he went too early on a ball he shouldn't have.
I agree. Drew has some of the best overheads in the game where he puts it where the opponents can't or shouldn't drive.
But again, that's the disciplined approach that Broderick has that he brings through the game. That's how he's always played, and he kind of forces his opponents into making some poorer decisions.
For sure, he's so hard to end the point against.
Tenacity.
Yep.
Oh. Good get by Tomas. Dancing around the ball and knew where it was going to be, though.
Yeah, that showed a lot of poise just freeze for 1 second, let that ball spin, and then make the adjustment with his paddle.
Yep.
Ball. Another great ball by Scott.
Yeah, he just let that go through. They really had no shifting over there. Let that ball just go through from Drew. Now they've shifted over.
Love 15.
A drive in a good spot right on Anton's.
Yeah, big time shot. A lot of pressure right there. Really smart choice from Tomas.
Yep, waited for the right time and then attacked.
Good get by Tomas, and he's back in the point.
Tomas is a good listener, Dan, isn't he? Drew said, take off on that shot. I don't want it. You're so much younger. Go.
Yep. They both anticipated a drop shot by Anton, and Anton put it deep, but they were able to adjust.
Yep, they recovered. Oh, great hands all the way around.
Yeah. Now they want to slow it down here and just get back in the point.
Just reset it.
Chaos.
Back-to-back nicks.
Yep, so Broderick trail the play, go all the way to the middle of the court, just in case that ball shot out, and it did right to his paddle.
And that's something that club players don't always do, but these top guys, it's a piece of cake for them.
Again, you can see Kaler's ability to close with that backhand volley negates that offensive overhead that Broderick kind of hits off the bounce over in that ad-court corner.
Yep.
Overhead style shot.
Oh, wow.
That's a good overhead.
Oh, great shot, Drew.
Love 30.
Hits the amazing cut overhead and then closes in and hits that great overhead. Wow.
Again, Kaler, Prosenko had a little bit of a lack of shift over there, and Broderick found that seam early in that point and kind of led to that ball going through, losing the net.
Now it's a huge point for Kaler and Prosenko.
What a hands from Anton. Just stiff armed that ball, just absorbed that pace of that ball. Nothing to it on that volley.
Yep.
Yeah, I think Broderick and Christian has done a great job adjusting to Prosenko's little drop overhead there. They're doing an incredible job at minimizing, the effect of it.
They both have speed. They both are reading it well, and then just resetting it if they're in trouble.
And Tomas is running forward for that drop shot, and Drew's actually going to cover
40.
behind Tomas in case it goes deep and goes by him.
The locals love that shot by Tomas to get it to triple match point here.
Really impressed with Christian's play here in the second set.
He's played very well.
Agreed.
Stop it!
Drew got
I like
caught
that
in the
shot
semi
from
baseline.
Prusenko. He kind of cut it a different overhead into Drew's body as opposed to landing short where Christian's been able to run that ball down.
Yeah, changing
I
the
like
changing
the
the
little
speed.
variation in placement of Prusenko's overhead there.
Yep,
Yep.
definitely messed Drew up for sure. Wow.
That's
Oh,
really
wow.
good get for
Game,
Tomas.
set, and match. Roderick Christian,
Great play.
6-2, 7-5.
Tomas had to run down about 6 drop shots by Anton in that
Yeah,
last
so
game.
quick. I mean, I think they tried to maybe get him off balance by hitting a few more drop shots, and Tomas and Drew got to every single one.
Yeah, that was an entertaining match. Great play from Brother Christian there in the second set. Dave and Dan, that was fun. You guys did a great job on the match. And Dan, we'll get to see you in action in our third match in a couple of minutes back here on Pro Flight.
Yep. Thanks for having me on the live stream.
Good
Lot of
job.
fun, lot of fun.
Good luck the rest of in the second half of the season, Dan. Dave will sign off, go to commercial, and we'll be back in a couple of minutes.
Success takes hard work. Making success a legacy takes discipline. PPAC Private. Your legacy, our discipline.
At Veritext, it's not just a deposition. It's the witness that will win your trial. It's the reason you became a lawyer. It's your first case as a partner. It's that case that will make you partner. It's for the families who lost something. It's for that groundbreaking patent. It's for one of the largest companies in the world, or one of the smallest. It's something that will change someone's life forever. At Veritext, it's never just a deposition. We understand it's so much more.